After the nearly 2-month-long march of return protests along the Gaza border, Turkish President Erdogan has ramped up his anti-Israel rhetoric. He has expelled the Israeli ambassador from Istanbul, as we all know, and is comparing Israelis to Nazis while calling on the international community to investigate Israel for war crimes. Joining me now in the studio to look into the future of Israeli-Turkey relations is Dr. Eytan Cohen Yanarocak, an expert on Turkey from the Moshe Dayan Center at Tel Aviv University.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
All right, so Turkey was the first Muslim country to recognize Israeli independence.
Yeah.
How did we get to where we are from there?
Okay, it was 1949, and as you said, Turkey was the first country. But until then, I mean, there were so many different, so many changes in Turkey. We had some secular governments, but later in 2002, the Justice and Development Party of Recep Tayyip Erdogan, who is considered as an Islamist party, came to power in Turkey. And after that, after let's say 2008, 2009, after he began to get rid of the Turkish army, which was considered as a natural ally of the Israeli Defense Forces in Israel, so he began to, let me say, implement his own agenda. And as a result, we began to see a deterioration of the Israeli-Turkish relations. And it was gradual, but it was very obvious. And of course, we had this normalization process, but this normalization process was not a genuine one because he always attached to the quality of the relations with Israel with the Palestinian question.
Right.
So that was the
that's what I'd like to ask you about. You know, is Erdogan using Israel as a punching bag to gain favor with other Muslim countries, perhaps, or does he believe the things that are coming out of his mouth?
It's not only Israel. Whenever there is a friction between a Christian country or, let me say, a non-Muslim country with Turkey, you name it. It can be Russia, it can be United States, it can be China, it can be Holland, it can be Germany. So he's observing, he's getting his surveys, and he understands that whenever there is a friction, he's getting more support at home. So he's trying to translate this anger to support because since we are approaching to the Turkish elections on 24th of June, so he's a little worried. Let me say, just today Turkey is experiencing a very harsh economic crisis. Today, dollar just faced 4.9 Turkish liras. For more than a decade, Turkey did not experience such a low. Such a low. Yeah.
Well, many within Israel are now calling to just completely end ties with Turkey. Is that the right move? What is the future here?
Okay, so we should understand something. We should wait until these elections. If after the elections, if the Turkish administration will implement new sanctions, like new economic sanctions, as they are saying right now, in order to get the public approval in Turkey, if they will fulfill all of these measures, so we can also talk about more serious steps like the recognition of the Armenian genocide or giving our support to the Kurdistan regional government's independence. So there are too many instruments, but let us not forget, this is a two-way street. If we're gonna have such sanctions, we will also have other sanctions from the Turkey's side. Yeah. So in this regard, I really do believe and really do hope that both countries will again come to a common denominator.
Well, we'll see if there's another reconciliation coming down the line here. Thank you so much for joining us.